does real estate stack against other investments? That's a question that many ask. I'm here to answer it. When you look at an investment, you need to look at the cash flow side, profitability side, liquidity side, and how much is it a hedge against inflation, and future prospects side. Let's start by talking about stocks, equities. When you look at stocks today, you find that stocks are pretty liquid. You have in general an efficient market. However, you have a very high risk. The risk reaches getting into negative equity someday. When you try to leverage your stock portfolio, that makes it even riskier. There is too many benefits similar to a pretty high income or a pretty high return. However, that isn't something everyone can say. Very few of the stock investors do qualify or can say that. Whenever you talk about bonds, bonds are debt that you're buying into. It can be sovereign bonds, it can be company, corporate bonds. There's many kinds of bonds. And whenever you look at any of those, you always need to understand that there's also a risk element attached to it. However, the risk is not as big as being an equity or a stockholder. Although it's not as risky, the kind of return is not as lucrative. So it gives you less of a return. It's in general liquid, but sometimes not liquid enough. When you go to cash, let's stop it here. Cash isn't an investment. Cash is something that gives you a guaranteed loss of value with time. If you have $1 million in the bank and you run it for 10 years with an average inflation of 3 to 5%, you're risking losing most of the buying power of your $1 million within that 10 years. So be cautious. And come to property. Not all property is one category, similar to not all stocks are one category. So similar to having blue chip stocks, great quality stocks, stocks that have of companies that have a track record, the great cash flow, you have stocks which can be junk stocks. In property, you have different kinds of property, different segments of the market. In commercial, you have several. In retail, you have several. In industrial, you have several. In residential, you have several. However, as a key indicators you need to look at cash flow. It is regularly something that does provide you an investment that does provide you a positive cash flow. And whenever it comes to liquidity, it's not as liquid. Remember, properties, except in few very rare markets, like the market we live in, Dubai, where properties are liquid. In other markets, properties are not as liquid. Actually, they're not liquid assets in general. They have great prospects for the future. However, they are not liquid. So be cautious whenever you look at funds you have and you can invest only for a short period of time, because property in general is a medium to long-term investment and best benefited off on a long term. Below this video is a full write-up about all of the other investments, and I know I didn't mention all the characteristics of other investments as well as property. There's a full write-up that gives you an overview of that. I hope that it helps you, or I'm sure that it helps you, to make the coming choices and investment decisions more prudently. Enjoy your day and log in to makramhani.com to get more.